Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a tour and a loop of D-Mall in Boracay. Now this is classed as their shopping centre on Google, but there is so many restaurants, different dessert places and shake shops that you can get different drinks from. It is definitely worth coming down to and exploring. It looks beautiful in the evening and it really is a hive of activity. So you can get yourself all sorts of different souvenirs. Obviously we will be stopping off at any of the shops that we stop off on the outside of, so it is going to be lucky dip of the souvenirs that you're going to see, and again it's going to be lucky dip of all of the menus that we stop off, because we are trying to find a bite to eat as we're walking around. But you can see the sign says D-Mall Avenue, and in places it's a little bit busy because there are 2 ways in and 2 ways out, and it basically takes you straight across the one side of the island to the other. So it's really handy. So you can just use this as a cut through, which is what a lot of people will do. On the one side is where all the water activities are, and then on the main strip, which we'll be having a look at in a little bit in this video, you would have already noticed the walk around the lake, and then at the end of the video you'll see the other side of the island, and that is also videos that have already been uploaded within the Philippines playlist. So there's lots of videos already available, but there's also lots of videos still to come. So if you wanted to get any souvenirs for friends and family, this is definitely one of the places you can come down to, because there's lots and lots of people here till late at night, and they all do the engraving as well in the middle. But you can also get it done on the main strips as well. So if you just wanted to go out and explore, you could walk around for a huge amount of time, going to all of the different stations, and then using this as the cut through, going from one side to the other. Now I did mention that there's 2 ways in and 2 ways out, so if eventually when we go down this sort of tighter strip, it will open up into what is almost like a big circle. But if you were to turn either left or right, depending on what walkway you came down, you might double back on yourself. Now Halamango, this is a very popular place. This was always full. There's 3 locations of these, and it is just mango ice cream in different sizes, and it just seems to be a popular hotspot for people to get some desserts or just walk around, and it's just nice and easy. But the nice thing is with that, you can take it to go, because you can eat it out of a cone, or you can have it in and sat down. So obviously if you are in a rush or you just wanted to get to the other side of the island, with regards to the desserts, a lot of the people are just walking around, or you can of course just sit down by the little tables that they've got outside or inside the restaurant, or underneath the seating area by all the trees is what you can see in the middle. But as I was saying, when you get into the circle, just be careful that you don't do a horseshoe shape and come back on yourself if you are trying to get to the other side of the island. But then at the same time, it is easy enough to navigate, so you soon get your bearings. We did this during the day in the morning, and it was completely empty. And then just coming back from the water activities in the evening, everybody is looking for somewhere to eat, and you can't blame them, because there is so many different places that you can get stuff from. Because you can see you've got all the different restaurants, you've got places that you can just eat in for a quick burger or a quick hot dog just on the left hand side. And then you can see there's lots of the outlets on the right-hand side. They've all sort of different configurations. You can either eat in, take away. Some of them just have the shop window where they just do a snatch and grab. So you literally just grab the plate and then you carry on going. In between all the food places, you can see you've got different T-shirt shops, so you can just pick up local souvenirs. The fridge magnets were very popular. The engraving was very popular here as well. But again, now to my left-hand side, as the camera starts to turn around, you've got Mango Mama. So you have got another type of mango ice cream in a coconut shell, I do believe, and that is what that looks like, and it was very tasty indeed. The mint ice cream was lovely, and that was, again, you didn't have anywhere to sit down in that one, but directly over the way from there you had this one. So you had another spoilt for choice menu, all sorts of different bits and pieces in there. You can see you've got different chocolate and that kind of thing on there, and that was from Dear Happy. So again, if you are making your way over to Boracay sooner rather than later, you are going to be spoilt for choice if you have a sweet tooth. I did get my words mixed up on that one, but yes, spoilt for choice if you have a sweet tooth, because there are loads and loads of places you can just sit down or take an ice cream and just wander around. So this video itself is 20 minutes, and I think we did the full loop. I think we covered everything in 20 minutes at a sort of steady pace, but again, there are more popular areas. So for example, it did look like you had to book almost a barbecue place, but we were very lucky, because think it was the next night we walked down here, there just happened to be some tables available, so we ended up having a barbecue meal down here on one of the evenings, and that was very, very tasty indeed, because the smell was absolutely fantastic coming from that restaurant. And this is where it starts to open up a little bit, and then you'll see what I mean about there's even more places that you can eat and drink, and that's still coming down in a straight line. So it's almost like a H. I guess if you had a Google Map overview, it'd be a bit of a H shape that you're walking around. Like I said, 2 ways in, 2 ways out. I think this is one of the hotels. So that would be a very, very convenient place for a hotel, but it would also be very busy. Obviously, if you're trying to chill out in the evening, I don't know how loud it would be, especially as it has a rooftop bar. Now, obviously, the rooftop bars are very, very pretty because you get a very good view. But with all these people walking around, I just don't know how quiet it would be. But if you have stayed at that hotel, then obviously let us know. So we just walked past the hotel, just cut a little bit off because it just got too busy with the people there. Basically, we got stuck. So we just walked past the people, turned the camera straight back on, and carried on. And there are some other interesting bits and pieces. There is almost like I think it's a dwarf tavern where all the members of staff are dwarfs. So they are the ones that are serving you and sitting you down. It's like an Irish theme, I think that one had. Then there's more of a traditional theme coming up. You'll see that you have got some fresh produce just here. So you've got all the fish in the tank, so you can just pick and choose whatever it is that you want to eat from there, and then they'll do it obviously for you fresh. So you can't get much fresher than that if you are into that kind of seafood thing. And then as we move down, I think we've then got a Mexican, we've got an Italian, basically anything. Any type of food that you can think of, it is there. Feel sorry for the maintenance people. So you can see that there are some people walking around because people are always doing maintenance all the time. There was a couple of little rides in the middle to keep the teeny tiny ones entertained. I would imagine they would have been on during the day. You have got some just shake shacks. So you can see there the mango shakes and all the other bits and pieces. They are always very, very tasty. I think that you've got like a Chinese type in there. And then again, more ice cream. So there you got chocolate, strawberry. Again, they love their mangoes, love their fresh fruit. It was really nice to try all of the different shakes. The mango shakes were lovely. The coconut shake was lovely. You could basically tried every single one that was on the menus as we were walking around over the different evenings, and they were very, very tasty indeed. The green mango is a little bit sweeter than the normal mango, but again, you've got lots of these menus that you can pick from, so even on the menus it says healthy options. I think this is more of the traditional Filipino food, if I remember. So you've got all the different rice, and because it's got rice top, and then it's got all the other food underneath it. They did look very, very good, because obviously you get a lot of types of different rice in the Philippines as well, and they come very, very fast indeed. See what I mean about how some of these places are very, very deep with regards to places to sit. Now you're in more of the sat-down restaurant areas, whereas when you first started to come in, that is more of a case of you could just sit in the middle, or you could just sort of have more of like a desserty type bit. So the restaurants here, there's lots and lots and lots of them to pick from. And now this is the first time you are now going to be able to turn right. So we have now hit the middle. So you can carry on going in a straight line, or you can go right, and then there's lots of gifts to the right hand side. Really nice food just here in the middle as well. The smells of places was just incredible. If I could have brought the smell back with me and shared that in the camera, I will do. But I'm just going to go quiet now for a minute or so, just so you can enjoy some of the actual sounds of what we heard, and then I'll catch back up with you in a minute.
Ice cream from?
Hi sir, good evening. Mexican food. This one much better, lots of choices.
Nice.
You can hear it's a really nice, friendly atmosphere. You've got people asking if you want to take a look at the menus and all of that kind of thing as you go. But the souvenir bit picked up quite a lot. So obviously we've just walked through where all of the main clumps of souvenirs were very close together, but you still have them dotted around, as you can see, to the left and right hand side as well. Loads and loads of fridge magnets to the right hand side, as you can see, and then there was somebody doing the engraving down on the ground just on the left. I will go quiet again for a minute or two in a few minutes just so you can enjoy it a little bit more. I think it's important that you guys and girls can just hear it without my voice over the top, but I still want to try and explain to you what you are actually seeing if you've never seen it before. Some really good deals on the fridge magnets. That was probably one of the better things to go for if you wanted to grab a group of people some gifts, because obviously it's hard to bring stuff back when you are on an island because you have a weight limit in your suitcase. So you have to take that into consideration, especially if you're coming back home again. But you would have noticed there was the Three Amigos that we saw there, and then there was this menu just on here. And then as we carry on and moving down, there's lots of other bits to have a look at. So you can even see that there is actually a normal body shop just there, so you can get all your bits and pieces. I say normal body shop, it's called The Body Shop, just like it is in the UK. So it is the same branding that they've got over there. And then as you carry on going down, we've then got another mix of souvenir gifts, and then coming into some more eateries and some more shops as well. So what I will be doing in probably about 45 seconds or so is I will be going quiet again, and then you can just listen to some bits and pieces, because I think there's a performance going on outside one of the hotels. You can see, I think what we're going to end up doing is we end up doing a loop, and then we come back down the lake again, and then we just cut back through. But what I did like is how you could just sit around all of those trees and just relax. So that hotel that we saw with the fountain actually put on some live performances a night or two later. Now, I do have all of that footage, and that will be coming up in a completely different random upload. But it was amazing that they did put all of that on. There was hundreds of people all sat out the front of the grounds just watching these live performers with all the different fire and things like that. And it was a very, very good show. Now, where we're about to walk down, or up, shall I say, is the parallel entrance to the same side we came in. So we came in by the main sort of supermarket bit, and you could see just how busy that bit was at the very, very start. If you didn't want the hustle and bustle of the first one, if you carried on walking down by the water and then took the second entrance in, which is this one here, you can see just how much calmer it is. Now, it's bizarre because on the opposite side of the island, you've got the two entrances in, and it doesn't make a difference which one you come down. They are both extremely busy. But for some reason, on this night, it seemed to be a lot more calmer on this side. So you could get some nice photos out the front of some of the shops where you're going to be getting the ice creams and things. They had, again, they had your dessert places. You've seen that one. That's the Halamango. So look completely empty on the inside of that one compared to the other one that we saw. And then again, as we come down, you can get some little gifts on this side of the island. So it's much easier to shop here because you don't have the full volume of people. But then at the same time, it did look like some of the shops were struggling because they had actually closed and they were boarded up at the same time. But with that being said, this is off season. So we are not in their peak season. So all of these people are here in the stormy season. So just imagine what it'd be like when it is peak activity. But there's just a couple of stores there, look, just to the right hand side, where they either in the process of being refurbed or they're just not open. Again, they could be getting ready for their main summer season, which is parallel or completely opposite, shall I say, to UK weather. So you've got lots of people buying desserts on both sides and all the lights and everything. So everything's open on the left-hand side, but you just had a couple of stores closed on the right-hand side. But I think it's because you don't need to walk all the way down here to come down. But I do highly recommend it though, because it is really nice and calm just coming down this way, because you can see you've got double up of some of the stores where it's much more popular on the other side, and you did have to queue for a long time, but you can get loads and loads of fresh fruit all on this side, which is what they don't have on the other side. So all of these are grouped together. So it will make you come down this way if you want your fresh fruit and veg, because we didn't see any of that on the other side. That is what, 5 stores, I think, of it in a row. And I think this is now store number 6 of all different fresh bits and pieces. So maybe this side is more of a market, and that's why some of them are closed as well. But as we start coming up a little bit further, because this is still supposed to be the tighter section, it feels lovely and wide and open, but you do have these ones that are closed. Now, I wonder if these are sort of fresh fish first thing in the morning, and then they obviously close in the evening because they've got no stock left, which would make sense because all of that is all fresh fruit and veg, all on that side. And then as we come up a little bit more, we've got the motorbikes parked. It was amazing that we suddenly figured out where we were, because I didn't realize we had done what I said was easy to do, where you could actually come back on yourself and not know. And it wasn't until we got up to where we saw the McDonald's, we're like, oh, this is just by the water. So then you just go back down to the next one, which is what we did. And then that was it. Nice and simple. But we did actually cover everything apart from the opposite walkway. So we did both these walkways rather than the opposite walkway. But again, now we're coming to the top bit. You've got the big restaurant just up on here. Loads. They love their desserts, love their ice cream. But you can see where we are. We're on the main strip and the main road again. And all we do now is we turn left, walk in a straight line. You turn left again, and then you make your way down to the main strip. But there is also the third way in, which is where we got to the hotel. So there's the taxi rank walk in. So if you wanted to see how you can get a different way into the amazing Piccolo Boracay Hotel, you can actually walk down that way, and that will take you to the other side of the island as well. So you do have quite a few different cut-throughs going in between the two sides of the island. So this side, obviously, is where all the taxis and different bits and pieces are. Then you've got about 5-minute walk to the opposite side, where you can obviously get to the water activities and all that kind of thing. And then on the other side, well, that is where the beach is. That's a big strip, and that's where loads and loads again of food, eateries, and restaurants and things are. And that was all covered in like a strip tour that we've already done in the Philippines playlist. So hunt that down if you want to see that kind of thing. But yes, as we're carrying on walking down, it was quite surprising actually where we suddenly ended up, and then we just figured out straight away it's really easy to get to, because that is the lake. We actually did the walk around there already, so we did the full loop just to show it off. That was actually the upload before this, and then we just started filming, and it just happens to be, obviously it gets dark very quickly here. So what we are going to do in literally a minute's time is just cut to the opposite side of the island. You're just going to see a quick brief bit on the other side, and that is where we ended up getting some nice fries. But you can see you've got all these e-trikes. These are where they all pull up. This is a very big hustly bustly bit with lots of people getting picked up and dropped off from here. And then again, you can just take this left, and then you can go down into the mall. and then you are good to go. Because you can see you have got the McDonald's sign a little bit further up, or you can actually see it there just to the left-hand side. So if you wanted to grab yourself some quick fries and a burger, easy pickup point, easy drop-off point with regards to all of the e-trikes that are there. And then if you wanted a nice little evening stroll, you could just do another loop around the water, which looked extremely impressive. But over to the other side, so we have just cut all the way back through. This is how windy it was on the other side. You can see what I mean about the umbrellas. That's why I've added it in, because it did almost feel like you didn't get the wind on the one side, but you did on the other. And then this is where we ended up, and we grabbed ourselves some fries. You can get 3 different flavors all in one, and it is called the Potato Corner. But guys and girls, that is it. And I am done. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to check out the other videos in the Philippines playlist. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.